Some stories in true crime are so shocking that they leave us grappling with the complexities of relationships, manipulation, and betrayal. Today, we're diving into a case that shattered multiple lives and stunned communities. The story of Katie Padl and her biological father, Stephen Padl. What began as a family reconnection turned into a nightmare involving manipulation, broken boundaries, and ultimately, a series of tragic deaths. The beginning. A heartbreaking adoption. In 1998, a young couple, Stephen and Alyssa Padl, welcomed a baby girl named Katie. At the time, the couple was struggling financially and emotionally, and they felt unprepared for the challenges of raising a child. Making what they believed was the best decision for their daughter, they placed Katie up for adoption. Katie was adopted by a loving family in Dutchess County, New York. Her adoptive parents provided her with a stable and nurturing environment. She grew up as an only child in their household, excelling in school and developing a passion for art. Katie's adoptive parents gave her everything they could to ensure a bright future. However, like many adopted children, Katie carried questions about her biological family. As Katie grew older, she decided she wanted answers. At the age of 18, Katie reached out to her biological parents, Stephen and Alyssa. The Padls, now living in Virginia, were thrilled at the opportunity to reconnect with the daughter they had given up so many years ago. But no one could have predicted the dark turn this reunion would take. Reconnection turns into something else. In 2016, Katie moved from New York to Henrico, Virginia, to live with Stephen, Alyssa, and their two younger daughters. At first, it seemed like a positive family reunion. Katie was welcomed with open arms, and everyone appeared excited to form a bond. She even began to refer to Stephen and Alyssa as Dad and Mom. But behind the scenes, something far more disturbing was unfolding. Stephen Padl, who was 37 at the time, began developing feelings for his 18-year-old biological daughter. This was no ordinary family reunion. It quickly became a situation fueled by Stephen's manipulation and grooming. Alyssa started noticing strange behaviors in the household. Stephen began isolating Katie from the rest of the family, spending more time alone with her. Alyssa grew increasingly uncomfortable with Stephen's behavior, but at the time she couldn't fully comprehend the extent of what was happening. A broken marriage. As time went on, Alyssa's suspicions deepened. She discovered disturbing entries in Stephen's journal, where he expressed romantic feelings toward Katie. Alyssa was horrified and confronted Stephen about the situation. But instead of ending the inappropriate behavior, Stephen became more emboldened. By 2017, Alyssa could no longer tolerate the toxic environment in her home. She left Stephen and took their two younger daughters with her. Katie, however, stayed behind with Stephen. What had once been a family was now fractured beyond repair. Not long after Alyssa left, Stephen and Katie's relationship became public knowledge. The two declared themselves a couple, openly posting about their relationship on social media. For many, this was shocking and incomprehensible. Stephen was not only a father figure, but also Katie's biological parent. Marriage and pregnancy. In July 2017, Stephen and Katie traveled to North Carolina, where they were married. It's unclear how they managed to circumvent laws prohibiting such unions, but their relationship was formalized. They even began sharing their lives online as a married couple, fully aware of how controversial their actions were. Later that year, Katie became pregnant. The couple announced the pregnancy on social media, sharing photos of Katie's baby bump and ultrasound images. They planned to name their son Bennett. To them, it was a new beginning. But to those who knew the truth, it was a deeply troubling situation. Alyssa was horrified when she learned about the marriage and pregnancy. She reported the relationship to the authorities, highlighting its illegal and harmful nature. She also expressed concerns about the safety of her two younger daughters, who were caught in the middle of this unfolding nightmare. The arrest. In January 2018, authorities stepped in. Stephen and Katie were arrested at their home in Virginia and charged with incest, adultery, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Their newborn son, Bennett, was placed into the care of Child Protective Services. Stephen and Katie were released on bail, but were ordered to have no contact with each other as they awaited trial. However, the damage had already been done. Stephen's obsession with Katie deepened, and the legal intervention only fueled his desperation. A fatal confrontation. Katie returned to Connecticut after her arrest, moving back in with her adoptive parents, Anthony and Kelly Fusco. She was trying to rebuild her life and distance herself from Stephen. But Stephen couldn't let go. On April 12, 2018, Stephen drove to New Milford, Connecticut. He had been monitoring Katie's whereabouts and was determined to confront her. That morning, Katie and her adoptive father, Anthony Fusco, left their home for an appointment. Stephen followed them in his vehicle. At an intersection, Stephen ambushed their car. Witnesses reported hearing gunshots as Stephen fired into the vehicle. Both Katie and Anthony Fusco were killed instantly. Stephen fled the scene, leaving behind a trail of heartbreak and devastation. Stephen's final act. Following the double murder, Stephen drove to Dover, New York, where he took his own life in a parked vehicle. His actions marked the end of a tragic series of events that had spiraled out of control over the course of 2 years. When authorities pieced together the timeline, they uncovered a chilling pattern of manipulation, obsession, and violence. Stephen's inability to control Katie and his desperation to maintain their relationship ultimately led to his deadly rampage. The aftermath. The murders of Katie and Anthony Fusco left their family and community reeling. Katie's adoptive parents, who had raised her with love and care, were devastated by the loss of their daughter and Anthony. Katie Padl, who had worked tirelessly to protect her children from Stephen, was left grappling with the trauma of losing her biological daughter and witnessing the horrors caused by her ex-husband. The tragedy also raised important questions about how such situations can be prevented. Katie was young and vulnerable when she reunited with her biological parents, and the power dynamics at play left her susceptible to manipulation. Lessons learned. This case serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of grooming and manipulation. While Katie was legally an adult when she reconnected with Stephen, she lacked the life experience to recognize the power imbalance in their relationship. Stephen, as her biological father, held a position of authority and trust, which he exploited for his own gain. It also highlights the importance of stronger safeguards when it comes to family reunifications. While many adoptees seek out their biological families for closure or connection, there must be support systems in place to ensure these reunions are healthy and safe. The story of Katie Padl and Stephen Padl is one of heartbreak, manipulation, and devastating consequences. It's a chilling example of how crossing boundaries in relationships can lead to unimaginable tragedy. Katie's life, full of potential and promise, was cut short by a series of actions rooted in obsession and betrayal. If there's one takeaway from this case, it's the importance of recognizing unhealthy dynamics and intervening before they escalate. Katie's story is a painful reminder of how power and control can destroy lives if left unchecked. Thank you for joining us on Dark Diaries as we examine these difficult but important stories. If you want to support our work and learn about more true crime cases, please like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.